Hey, Travis, just your initial thoughts on the matchup with the Blues. When we spoke to you yesterday, you didn't know who you'd be playing yet, and your memories of the games that your team has played against them recently.
Well, as far as playing St. Louis, I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about as far as St. Louis goes. Everyone knows what their team is all about. Um, they played right to the end and won the Cup last year, and they're on pace to try to do the same thing again this year. It feels like, everyone knows their team quite well and what they're all about. So it's going to be a tough matchup. We're excited to play.
Next up, we have Jeff Patterson, TSN 1040. One sec. Jeff, are you there?
I am.
Perfect.
Hi.
Hey, Jeff.
There we are. Anybody that watched the round robin knows that there just wasn't the same intensity in those games as there was in the play-in games that you played in, and St. Louis is winless in the bubble. How do you guys harness that momentum against a team that is sort of, scuffling a little bit to find its game?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on what the round robin games were like since we didn't play them. I know what St. Louis's team is all about. It's no secret. I also know what our team needs to do to play its best, and that's what we're worried about, making sure our team brings its best game to the table against a very good hockey team. We're excited to play them, and looking forward to a good series.
Next up, we have Ben Kuzma, Post Media.
Hey, Travis.
Hey, Ben.
Pedersen always seems to rise to the occasion no matter what the game is. During the season series against the St. Louis Blues, that 2-1 OT loss here, he had 6 shots and 7 attempts that night and was kind of all over the ice. And we made a lot of it because it was Pedersen versus Binnington. What about PD's ability? I mean, we've seen it here in the postseason, even in a short study, that the bigger the stage, the bigger he seems to show up.
Well, as far as PD goes, he's a good player. Competes hard, wants to win. Like all good players, you want them to play their best when in the bigger games. Obviously, a lot of our young guys are new to this. They've all played bigger games before in other leagues, and I thought they all played well in the play-in round. We'll be looking for him to do the same thing that he has done and keep progressing in this round as well.
Going to go to Ian McIntyre, sportsnet.ca.
Hi, Travis. I know 4 games isn't a huge sample, but if you're looking at your team by the end of that series from what it was, say, coming out of training camp, what pleased you the most from what you saw, or where did you see the most growth in your group over that series?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I just think our overall team game, our ability to adapt to this type of hockey. I think the fact that we limited chances against, to play playoff hockey and win in playoff hockey, you have to be able to defend well. You have to be able to limit chances. The compete level in front of both nets is very high. You have to be willing to go there to score, and you have to be willing to play in front of your own net. I've talked about this, it seems like, over the last week is, I think our defensive game was stronger than it had been. A lot of that was from commitment from our players to play that way, improvement from some of our players, I think, as well. And the resiliency of our group. I thought game 1 took a lot out of us. Just because of the build up to the playoffs and the emotions, and to be able to bounce back and find a way to win in different fashions over the next couple games, especially game 4, being down and coming back and down again and coming back. Our team they were all in, and I thought we found our game as the games went on. It's not always easy to find your game at this time of year when you've only played a few games. The intensity level was high, and I thought our guys rose to the occasion.
Next up, we have Jim Thomas, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Coach, during the regular season, you guys played St. Louis very tough. Can that give your team any added confidence as you enter this series?
I think it's always something to dwell on. I'm imagining that St. Louis had a lot of teams play them very tough and bring their best games. When you win the Stanley Cup the following season, every team that you play knows what you're about and is up to play you. When you mark yourself against teams and grade yourself against the best teams in the league, there's no better team than St. Louis right now to grade yourself against. And they would have had hard matchups the whole season. So for them to be where they were when the season ended says a lot about their group as well. So I thought we played fairly well against them. I think our group got excited to play against good teams last year. We showed that we could play with a lot of good teams.
Next up, we have Farhan Lalji, TSN. Farhan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you. Travis, we talked a lot about Minnesota's forecheck and how aggressive they were in the last series. How much does that prepare you for St. Louis's style of play? Because they like to get into the forecheck as well. And can you compare the two? Like, how differently does St. Louis do it?
Well, Minnesota is a heavier team. I thought the series was a heavier series. There's no secret the way St. Louis plays and the strength of their team. Anytime you win a Stanley Cup, you can win in a bunch of different ways. They're comfortable playing in close games. They've got a bigger team that can protect the puck very well. And, it's going to be a great challenge for our group. I'm not going to talk about their forecheck and different ways that we're going to try to break out the puck, but it's going to be a challenge. Like I said, they're a heavy team that's smart. They can win 1-0, and they've got enough skill to win 5-2, those kind of games as well, 5-4.
Next up, Stephen Wino, Associated Press.
Hey, Travis. Obviously, St. Louis is not the only big, heavy team in the Western Conference. You guys have a little bit more youth and speed and skill. How does youth, speed, and skill, what's the best way of getting to that game against the big, heavy team?
Well, we're going to have to play our best hockey. I thought the previous series was a good warm-up for us for sure. Minnesota defends very well. They've got a deep set of forwards, and the hockey at this time of the year was very intense, and your body had to get used to it, and I think that was good. It was a good test for our group, and this will be another one. There's no bigger test than playing the team that had just won the Stanley Cup. So we're looking at it. We're going to embrace it. We're excited about it, and looking for a good series.
Next up, we have Dan Rosen, NHL.com.
Yeah, Travis, playing off of that a little bit, you don't get to pick your opponent, but I'm curious, you have a young group, some guys who, this will be their, I guess the Wild Series was their first playoff experience. This, right, I guess, now is technically the playoffs. To get an opportunity to play the team that just won the Stanley Cup, I mean, there is no greater challenge, like you said. If you could pick it, I mean, would this be what you'd want for your team to see exactly what they could do against the defending champs? I mean, why not, right?
Well, I don't think you're going to get me to say this is who we were hoping we'd get. So I try not to worry about the things that I don't control and worry about the things I can. All I know is that we're playing St. Louis, the defending Stanley Cup champs. And we're excited about it. We are a young team that hasn't had a lot of experience, but I can tell you, we're not here to just play the games. We're here to win.
And we have a follow-up from Brennan Batchelor.
Travis, last we heard about Michael Ferland, the team said he would be ruled out for the Minnesota series and be reevaluated after that. Do you have any news on his status?
No, he's still unfit to play.
Follow-up from Ben Kuzma.
Hey, Travis, the Blues at their best can play a pretty heavy north-south game. Bo Horvat had not only a couple goals in the season series, he was absolutely dominant in the circle between 60 and 70%. If it turns into that north-south kind of game, how much can it benefit Bo?
I think Bo can play in any type of game. Not worried about him at all. He's going to have to be a big part of our group. He was the past series. I expect him to be that this series. He can play in a skilled game. He can play in a heavy game. It's a big part of his hockey.
We're going to take a final question from Jim Morris, CBC.
Hello, Travis. Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, Jim.
You talked about how well your team played in so many areas in the first round. What are some areas you think you might have to improve on moving ahead?
I'm pretty happy with our team game right now. We're constantly talking to our group, showing game reviews, talking about little areas that we can improve in. You know, maybe little reminders here and there from game to game about our group or with our group. But I'm happy with our team game, and I do know that we're going to have to bring our best team game to beat St. Louis, and I think we're getting toward that in this Minnesota series. But it's a new series, new opponent, and we're going to have to reset and be ready to go again.